There are times in man's history when we must stand for the righteous. Life is something that God has given us to stand for, to look for, to demand righteousness in. So when I look out over the world these days, and I see people struggling for freedom. When I look out into the world these days, and I see the things that our people have had to do to bring justice into this land. When I look over all of the things that we have accomplished during the civil rights movement, all of the people, all of the things we have suffered, I ask myself, why? Why did we do it? And the answer reverberates back not only into my mind, but into the mind and the consciousness of the world. We did it. We did it for freedom. We did it for justice. We did it for love.
They fought the forces of hate without weapons in their hands. Freedom. They did it for freedom. Freedom. They faced the guns and the dogs and the threats from angry mobs. They did it all for freedom. MLK said we must take a non-violent stand and trust that God will hear our cries of pain and sorrow. Some were beaten and jailed and some were even killed, but still they stood up for their rights in a new tomorrow. So they marched in the face of bigotry, singing we shall overcome. And they marched to proclaim that liberty should belong to everyone. And they fought the battles in the streets without weapons in their hands. They believed that there would be victory if God's people took the stand. They fought the forces of hate without weapons in their hands. They did it for freedom. They faced the guns and the dogs and the threats from angry mobs. They did it for freedom. Men and women and children all holding hands and singing songs of hope that all would soon be treated equal. Without fear they faced a nation filled with hate and said that we are willing to die to free our people. So they marched in the face of prejudice and said Jim Crow must be gone. And they marched to proclaim that racism can't be used on anyone. And they fought the battles in the streets in a pure non-violent way. They believed that their own sacrifice would change it all someday. They took the beatings in jail and believed they would prevail. They did it for freedom. They followed the man with a dream and they never gave up hope. They did it for freedom. I'm so thankful for Martin and John. I send respect to Rosa Parks, yeah. I'm so thankful to all who were involved and for all the things they marked for. They faced the hangman's noose and declared they had no fear. They did it for freedom. They walked the streets with faith, singing we shall overcome. They did it for freedom.
God is with us. Even when we were drugged from the land of our forefathers. Even when we were forced to work in our fields, giving our labor for nothing. Our Father has been with us since and stands with us now as we face this new tribulation. Stand fast, be strong, and know that we shall be free by any means necessary.